Welcome to Tantra Lounge, Sex Talk Radio. Divine Kika is a radiant force, overflowing with positive energy, guiding you to a heart-opening, blissful, authentic tantric experience. This show will help you to expand your joy, cultivate more intimacy in your life, and rediscover the pleasure within your personal relationship. We're going to talk about the new year and New Year's resolutions in the beginning of the show. I know this is a big topic because most people try to turn a new leaf in the new year. We're going to give you some tips. I think you're going to help a lot. But then a little later on in the show, Moneeka Sawyer will be here. We spoke about her in the beginning of last week's show, the Bliss Retreat, which is happening in the first of the year, 2nd, I believe it is, of January, which the registration's closed. But she's going to talk a little about numerology, and I'm fascinated by the subject.
I met this numerologist and he told me all about myself and made me cry. Like, he told me things about myself that nobody knew. It's like he knew my soul. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta look at this. And so he and I studied together. He ended up training me in numerology so that I could do the same thing for other people. But working with him, the big thing about the way that he uses numerology, and now I use numerology, is that you look at the numbers and then you find your purpose. So you find a life direction that really fills you up with meaning and joy and purpose, for use of a better word. And then you find out where your blocks are and you heal those blocks. And because of that process with him, my whole life is completely opened up and become a completely different thing, which is why you see what you see today.
Tell us what is the thing that you took the most, like how does it impact your life the most to be in the bliss that you are right now?
Let's talk a little bit about the numbers, okay? My husband and I, he's a 1 and I'm a 2. And when you talk about relationships, you want to take a look at what their numbers are. 1 is all about leadership, power, dominance, that sort of thing. And 2s are all about relationship, duality, gentleness, sweetness, compassion. So when you get a 1 and a 2 together, you get a 1 who's like, let's do it. He's like a superhero. And the 2 is like, can we just spend some time together? You know, that sort of thing. So you can imagine there was a little bit of conflict with us, just because our base personalities are different, actually conflicting. 2s tend to really enjoy a very warm environment. 1s tend to be in very competitive environments, which tend to be a little bit maybe colder, maybe we might say. So what Tantra has done is it's helped us to bridge that gap.
The soulmate relationship is so intense that will come and shake everything that you are, all parts of you. And it's fiery and it's going to move you and it's going to get you angry and it's going to go, and it's overwhelming. But if you can, then sometimes it's so hard to stay with your soulmate.
Yes, it
because
is.
It's too intense.
There's too much, yeah.
And then you end up marrying somebody that could be your friend.
When we do a numerological chart for a relationship, we do both people individually because each of you is an individual and brings your personalities into the relationship. And then we do a comparison and analysis. And that analysis will help you to understand sort of what makes you different, what are the challenges about the relationship, and how to make it better. For number 1, we've already talked about, this is all about leadership and power. 1s tend to be entrepreneurs. They're self-starters. They're very self-motivated. They're usually very dynamic and exciting to be around. The 2s are all about relationship. These are the people that bring community together. So they're the lovers and the compassion people. And
I thought that I was a 2, but okay.
Yeah.
So what?
And all of us have pieces of each of these numbers in us. We're not, there's only 9 numbers. We've all got all of it. But it's what's dominant in our life and what's the most important to us and how do we run our lives. 3s are all about fun, fulfillment, happiness, and joy. The 4s are all about organization and stability. 5s are all about adventure and freedom and expansion.
So that's where I am at because I haven't found
That's
my
where you're
real-
at right now, right? So it's all about expansion and learning. Fives love to travel. They often will use travel as a way to learn and expand. They love to meet people. They're a lot like threes in that they love to be in the limelight. They're really amazing teachers because they're so expansive and because they're so curious. They learn a lot.